Today on the show, strategy plus action equals automated e-commerce. This show is powered by Black Ginger. If you'd like to shorten your sales cycle and build a foundation that makes all of your other sales and marketing initiatives better, reach out to us on LinkedIn. We are here on Strategy in Action to talk e-commerce today. We got together, for the subject of this show because we've seen the giant numbers, right, for e-commerce during COVID has just exploded. And obviously, it was a trend that was increasing anyway, but during COVID, it's just exploded. And I think everyone out there, especially with the slightest entrepreneurial inkling, and even folks who don't have that, have thought, I should really be doing so. I should be selling something online. But how do you go from this vague idea of like, maybe I should put a book up on Amazon to really building an e-commerce business? And then, so we had that discussion, and Johnathan, you had the perfect person in mind.
That's right. Ryan Morgan, man, of All Done Consulting. So good friend and just a guy that I've watched build an incredible business. Building businesses, e-commerce businesses specifically for other people. Very excited to have him on and just listen to him give us some of these secrets.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you stay tuned for the outro of this show as well, because Johnathan and I just we kept going, right? We had some ideas for him on how to market this offering that he's got, during this show, and then afterwards. Johnathan, I know you had a lot of even greater ideas there, and we're anxious to work with him in the future. We've got a show we're putting together for him, and a lot of opportunity to implement those ideas. So make sure you check out the outro of this episode as well. And now let's get to it with Ryan Morgan. And today we are talking e-commerce here with the man himself, Ryan Morgan. How's it going, Ryan?
I'm doing quite well, man. Every day is a blessing. Another lesson.
Nice. So we wanted you here because you are the man when it comes to e-commerce. I mean, we've just been blown away with, what you've got going on there. And for so many people, e-commerce is something, I should do that. But there's just some vague notion of like, maybe I'll sell something on Amazon one day. And there's so much more to it. And that's what we really wanted to dive into here. Johnathan, I know you were, when we talked about this topic, you were like, we got to have Ryan on here.
For sure. And I've had the pleasure of knowing Ryan for a couple of years. We met up last year in London, or earlier this year. This year, yeah. The last trip before COVID shut down the world. So I was actually able to connect with Ryan in London, man, and just seeing this guy's passion for helping people create wealth through e-commerce. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, ever. So that was one of the reasons why I'm like, we've got to get him on the show and just have him just tell his story, if anything.
Yeah, and, there's so much to dive into, and I want to get into how you got into this, because just like Johnathan said, the story is fantastic. But first and foremost, I want people to understand the level you're playing this game at and what you've got going on. So tell me about All Done Consulting, your company, and what you're offering, what that specialty is.
Yeah, so what we do at All Done Consulting is we help people buy online businesses without using any of their time. Because, people are constantly looking to get into e-commerce, but the biggest thing that they'll find is that they're not entrepreneurs. And therefore, you can't start a business if you're not an entrepreneur and expect to be successful. And so what we're trying to do is just help people understand that they should just purchase our experience, our leverage, our network, and we just basically set up the stores for them and to split the profits. It's very similar to like a franchise model. It's not any different than, say, like if you never started a restaurant, you wouldn't expect to be more successful than a Burger King. Because Burger King, they have the formula, they have the blueprint, they know how to get people to the drive-thru, they know how to upsell the person before they leave, they know how to run the whole business, and then you just split the profits. And that's what we do at All Done Consulting. We're just looking to help people convert that methodology into the internet world.
So what does that look like from actual tangible kind of thing? Is that Shopify? Is that eBay? What does that look like?
Yeah, well, along the way, I've literally tested 7 different people. So on Amazon, eBay, Shopify, and ClickFunnels, we've made an investment of probably around like 50,000 or more into different experts into different spaces. And based upon my feedback from the clients, from all the people I've worked with, Shopify has been the most predictable like business model to create income for yourself, but also have like a long-term business that could be scalable and sellable one day.
I love that. That's huge, man. And really, we've spoken and taken a look at what the offering is, and I think, there's just been such a boom in this business and a boom in this space right now. Over the last few months, we've seen COVID take things and online shopping to a totally different level. I always say I live in Spain, and these past few months have changed the economy of Spain because of online shopping. About 6 months ago, it was still fairly taboo, and now guys like you have gotten into this market and really created the opportunity through ads and running this traffic, for people to buy things that they never even knew they wanted. And so tell us a little bit about some of the things that you guys are selling or creating through these stores.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like the online marketing, the reason why we focus on Shopify or building your own sales funnel over Amazon is because what we're just doing is putting products and services that people want in front of them where they hang out every day. And that's the fun part about doing business is basically being able to solve people's problems or be able to offer them solutions to make them feel better on the whim. So, for example, like one of our successful stores is drippyfactory.com, where people buy, jewelry from a website every day. And we have proof of that. Or, like, for example, we have lumalashes.com, where women are just buying like those eyelashes on the internet. And, we're just presenting it. We're just putting something simple in front of them. Instead of them going out to the store and physically going to have to look for it, they can just have it delivered to their house. And that's exactly why, those transactions happen every single day. We have proof of that. And that's what we try to show to our customers, that we have successful stores. We're building new ones almost every day, and we're just looking forward to keeping people in the loop.
That's awesome. I know when people think e-commerce, immediately you go Amazon, and for some folks wanting to kind of step out and sell their own stuff, the idea is, I can never compete with Amazon, so why even bother doing anything else like a Shopify store like you're finding? And you're finding just the opposite. There's a whole bunch of areas to play in. And how are you doing that? How do you go up against that? What's that differentiator?
Well, obviously running ads, you need to have someone who's has a track record of running ads to where they need to be targeted. But ultimately building a brand, that's like the long-term thing that you create on the internet in terms of Shopify, building a funnel that you can't do on Amazon. You don't have the ability to follow up with your customers. You don't get the email list. You don't get their number. You don't get to create a relationship with your customer. You just try to generate sales. With the brand equity, that's how you're able to really create a long-term business. Like I said, that one day you could sell or just continue to scale for a monthly income.
I love it. That's incredible. That is really great. So, as there are many, options for people to go out and try to find the solution. I've literally watched you guys build All Done Consulting and get incredible case studies and show us hundreds of stores and the success. I saw one today that had 400 grand in revenue already this year. Crazy. But what is that main driving difference? What are people getting when they come to All Done Consulting versus when they go somewhere else?
Well, like I said, it's the fact that we have tried 7 different sources. We have, we have places that we have created reliable relationships. We're also looking to provide training. We're actually looking to teach people what we do, how it can benefit them. Because at our minimum package, it's a 50-50 partnership. So you might as well know something. That way we can make more money together.
I like that. And another question there, Ryan. What is it that drove you to even create this? There's some underlying thing that is your big goal, and you're doing this and you're making money, but there seems to be something that comes up where you're really wanting to help people. What is that?
You know what it is, Jonathan? It's because when we really met, which was 2 years ago, it was because I was in the Philippines and I spent 2 years of my life raising $800,000 for a technology idea I had, and I spent all that time making presentations to investors for an idea that I really thought would help change the world, and I was unsuccessful in raising that money. And what I wanted to do ultimately with All Done Consulting was be able to get a young kid to be able to present something to an investor where he can help that investor and then ultimately reach his goal of whatever his idea is in an easier, more like strategic fashion.
I love that.
Technology is definitely the end goal, and then I also want to create music.
That's fantastic. And then what was that? What's that step that led you into this, like into this world with these stores and partnering up and being able to sell this option to folks?
Oh, it's real simple, man. It's just all about knowing one person that gives you the opportunity. I reached out to a guy who had way more money than me. He's the same age as me. And I said, hey, man, what are you doing? And he said, I do Amazon automation. This is my team. He gave me a list of numbers to call, and I started calling them. That's it. And I just asked him for a job. And I just figured out ways to improve upon the process. It was working for him, but I wanted to create a process that would work for more people.
And what led to that? Because you've got that in your bones, right? Like just that sales, because that's what you're on the phone all day, every day. Where does that come from?
It's just the only way. Then it's either that or not have any money at all or starve. Honestly, it was at the point where I was looking for a job, and at the same time, I remember I would waste time looking for a job because I would end up spending months doing interviews and still not getting what I wanted, and then I'd still have to make phone calls in order to eat. So it got to that point.
The pipeline. Did y'all hear that? You gotta dial. You gotta pick up the phone to eat. That is just such a real thing, man. And even not to Ryan, for you guys that don't know Ryan, anybody watching this that doesn't know Ryan is being very humble right now. And I'm calling you forward, Ryan Morgan, because I know your story and you are being quiet on my podcast, and I don't like it. So I'm going to tell some of these things.
Tell him, Johnathan. Tell him.
Man, yes, I've literally watched this man dial his way to hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue. I've watched him dial his way into the offices and family offices of billionaires, into meetings around the world. And Ryan, you can be shy, but I know the story, man. So I'm going to tell it. I'm going to tell it. And the difference between the success that you've seen and the success often that people want, and here's where that strategy and action comes in, is you've seen the strategy, but you were willing to work your ass off taking the action. I've watched you go live on Facebook, picking up the phone, standing up for 8 and 9 hours a day, bro. I've seen that. So tell us again, we're going to rephrase this question. Tell us again, what's here, Ryan Morgan? What calls you to be the best version of you every day? You've lost weight, you've been in the gym, you're eating healthy, you're surrounding yourself with a lot of people. What is it, man? What is that?
To answer the question, honestly, it's just to solve pain, because I know I have my own pains and I know other people have pain. And it's definitely a really frustrating thing when you want something but you can't have it and you don't know the answer. That's the worst feeling ever.
How are you solving that kind of pain for other folks?
I'm solving that pain with my automated stores, where I show people how they can they can buy their way to freedom. And if they don't have the money for that, I show them how to talk to wealthy people and show them where to invest their money. And I feel like those two things, if I focus on that, become the best in the world at that, I'll be very successful, and everyone around me will be successful.
Fantastic. And leading into that, I know Johnathan and I are starting to work with you right now through Black Ginger. New show coming up, Engineering Wealth with Ryan Morgan. So excited because we're gonna help pull out even more of these nuggets from you for that show. I'm excited to launch into that, and I know there's a lot to it as we've had these deeper conversations and that system and that process. There's a lot that you can educate people on, honestly, and kind of pull out other successful people's stories and show everybody how you've taken this nugget and that nugget. And I know, like Johnathan said, you're kind of downplaying that work ethic and just putting in the hours, putting in the reps, but it's a huge thing. I mean, there's a lot of people who understand they should be doing that, but I think there's an extra gear in you that kind of that you kick into. It's like there's just no question I'm going to do this, and I'm anxious to help through this interview and your upcoming show, kind of bring that to the world.
I still haven't clicked yet. I still haven't reached my full level. I feel like, man, that's
and you never will. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
I think that comes from, I think at different levels for everybody, right? Like, and the higher achieving, the more you're somebody who pushes yourself. You'll always, because whatever that goal is right now, that monetary goal today, you're going to hit that by December, just like you've talked about. And then come January, you're just going to be like, man, if I did that, that's nothing. I can, here's that next one. Yeah. What is that big next goal? How are you helping things? Are things evolving with All Done Consulting?
Ultimately, we want to take advantage of this Cyber Monday. We feel like it's going to be one of the most we feel it will be the most profitable e-commerce year. Like, I don't know why not this year. Then the only reason why it wouldn't be is because people are just depressed and they're not spending their money because they're afraid to. But we still feel that it's still going to be the largest e-commerce year ever because of COVID-19, because people are going to want to spend due to like the fact that ultimately this was like a boring year for most people. Let's just be honest. So they're going to be like, let's spend money because we're bored sitting in our house all day. Like, let's buy a gift for someone. And the fact of the matter is, there's never going to be a time more than now where there's people like standing in line. The government's not even going to allow people into the stores. So what are they going to? They're going to be in line buying stuff off of our stores. And we just want to help you get a part of that. The goal is to spend $2 million before Cyber Monday, and that's what we want to do. And we're looking to help as many people that we know get a part of that.
Right, I see and foresee the same exact thing. I think this next few months online, especially this Christmas season, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, is going to break the internet. We've seen Amazon's shares, just explode. We've seen Bezos's net worth go up $80 billion in the last six or 7 months. So we know what the world is set it up for, man. So I'm just glad that there are people like you that are driven to share some of that wealth and help people do that. And one of the ideas we were speaking about is this can be one of the biggest Christmas gifts you can ever buy somebody. Buy someone an e-comm store. Leave a legacy. Buy someone something that they're going to actually be able to benefit from, learn from, invest with, leverage for the future. This is you want something for your grandkids, this is what you do. You want something for your kids, this is what you do. Didn't buy a life insurance policy? Buy an e-comm store with the money that you still have. So, I'm selling a little bit, but it's because I've seen it and I love it, and I'm in line myself. So I'm ready, man. But Ryan, tell us how people can best get in touch with you, and how can we find you?
Oh, it's real simple. My site it's alldoneconsulting.com. So it's ALLDONE consulting.com. Feel free to check out our Shopify page, check out any of our other pages, schedule a call. I'll be available. And if you I like to do video calls with my customers. That way we can show you examples of the stores, go to the back office and find out what your goals are, and be like, look, this is an example of a store that's doing exactly what you want around this amount of time. This is what it took. This was the cost. Would you like to get started with us? Here's the agreement. Honestly, the last thing is, we really just want to help people understand what we have to offer. We even, show people what other people are doing in the market, just so you can see like who has the best deal, and you can feel comfortable who you want to do business with from there.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Couple rapid fire questions for you. What's more important, strategy or action?
I think actually strategy, because I've taken a lot of action. If you're not doing it in the right way, then it's useless. But once you do have something that's working even a little bit, then you need to take massive action.
Fake it till you make it, or stay quiet until you're successful?
I definitely don't fake it till you make it. So I'd probably say stay quiet, but honestly, you need to put out valuable content. You need to create nuggets. Leave him some breadcrumbs.
Like it. Only show the money once a year. I got you, man. Just show them once a year. Not around Christmas.
For sure.
That's right. Ryan, thanks so much for being on, man. And look forward to working with you. And we will see you all next time on Strategy and Action.
Incredible episode with Ryan.
Oh, I love that. It took a little bit. I'm glad you called him out, during the episode a little bit to, it's like, we're here for your story. Don't be humble,
That's right.
I'm anxious to work with him and stuff, and even pull out more of his story and just the process, building these stores. I loved your idea during the episode on the, taking these e-commerce stores and using that. I mean, gifting those to family. That was awesome.
And that's really what the focus is, and how we want to give back to our guests on Strategy and Action is, hey, we are geniuses when it comes to strategy. I will toot my own horn, and especially when we combine and we're able to come up with some of these ideas, is incredible, man. But even more so with the Christmas idea and telling him about how they can package their automated e-comm stores, these done-for-you e-comm stores, and then package that as a luxury gift. There's people that are buying their kids plenty of franchises. It costs $300,000-$400,000 to get a McDonald's open if you're approved. You have to work in a Chick-fil-A for at least a year in order to own one. There's all these barriers of entry, but this is something that if you've got the funds, or if you've got, great credit, they can help you do that too. But, you can give this to somebody as a legacy gift. You can look at it as an opportunity to even invest with a group of friends and say, hey, let's split up the cost and divvy this out. Man, there's so many different ways you can do this, and it's just purchasing a cash flowing asset. So the same way people go into purchasing real estate or apartment complexes together, this is something that's it's a lot more affordable for the normal person, and you're able to achieve the same thing, and often even quicker. There's no limitation to some of these stores.
Yeah, and I know he's got, just built in, like what you buy into store, the setup, everything's there. You're ready to roll, and then you're running ads, and they've got that process down. Here's what the ad should be. Here's what all this, and that's great. Where my mind goes with this is, someone gifts this to a son, a granddaughter, somebody like that. And there's a business entity that maybe they couldn't have bought into, but now what they do have is just incredible either presence or just innate skill set on social to add fuel to that fire. Yeah, you'll still run ads, you'll do all this other stuff, but that organic, I mean, just it's part of their world anyway. Now they can shine and be something they're passionate about, selling something that they're into anyway. Maybe their entire Instagram account is already have to do with the kind of products that they're selling. Now they can be that spokesperson. It's almost influencer in a box, right?
man, Jason, that literally live that just popped something into my head. These guys could literally go in and find some of these influencers and partner with them, give them a percentage of the store that says, hey, this is your store. This is going to be your brand. You love promoting other people's products. Why not promote yours on this site? We're going to get stuff that is of the same quality. If you're into health and fitness or food and travel, they can build this store. The influencer gets a part of it. And then that's how the influencer is motivated. There's plenty of times where an influencer gets paid to do something, but they're getting paid to promote someone else's brand. They build their brand, and the value should be tied into something that they have ownership in. This has been the struggle with every big organization, from sports to collegiate athletes, that finally in 2019, 2020, it's legal for them to make $1 off of their image when other people made billions. So this is that same mindset where they're just going into it like, hey, let me create an opportunity for you to own something. Let me create an opportunity for you to create wealth with our help. It's done for you, but with your help, this can be done even better.
Yeah, I'm so excited to get this, opportunity and really what Ryan's doing in front of more people. That's why we had him on the show and what we're doing. But we're also putting a show together for him called Engineering Wealth with Ryan Morgan. Your name came up with was fantastic. Loved it. And he's going to have not only, teaching people his story, his process, what he's got, but bringing on folks who are out there killing it in their own way in different businesses and kind of pulling nuggets from there as well. Excited to share all of this. This is a blast. I mean, that's why, why we do what we do, like you talked about, and people coming on the show, because these are the conversations we're having every day, and people are coming to us with, I've got this thing going on, and we're like, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. And just like you talked about, like that's where we get inspired. That's where our superpower comes in of just like, you know what you can do. And that's everything. And to be able to share that and expand on that for folks that's so much fun.
We've been at this for a few years doing this separately. And then now that this is coming together, you just see the flow. I mean, even some of the guests that we have coming on, we've got, some different hand-picked people that we've got coming up that will just blow your mind in some of the things that they had a strategy and they took some action and, they turned a passion into extremely profitable businesses or, $1.5 million book of businesses and, profitable Airbnbs within 2 weeks, like, just $20,000, $30,000, just these stories that are so crazy. And even the purpose of that is to put this out and inspire our listeners, inspire other people to take the same action, because it's great. We all sit down and have these strategy sessions with family and talk about what we want to do. But it's the point of you've got to add the plus sign and then the action to be able to create this stuff. And so we're bringing the secrets. We're pulling it out of these guys. We're pulling it out, and we want to give it to you guys. And I think that's another just great example of this with Ryan. So.
Absolutely. Well, I say we bring this home. This has been a fantastic episode and additional kind of brainstorming going on here. I love it. Johnathan, thanks so much, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks for listening. You've learned what's working on the front lines of business. Now it's time to get to work. Apply to the Strategy and Action group on Facebook to learn more and for a chance to connect with the guests on this show. Join us next time for Strategy and Action.